There's a superhero film that solved the problem Marvel and DC have spent 20 years pretending isn't there. It costs a fraction of their budgets, it's rated PG, and the hero who proves the point spends the back half of the movie doing exactly what you wouldn't expect. But to understand this solution, we have to go back to the problem. What's wrong with Superspeed? Well, nothing if you're the one who has it. Everything if you're the poor writer trying to build a movie around you. Picture you're the fast guy. Some henchman swings a punch at your head. To you, the fist is crawling through the air like it's stuck in honey. You've got time. You could step aside, you could take his wallet, go to the store, buy a sandwich, even though you technically don't need to pay because cameras won't be able to see you stealing it. Then you can eat the sandwich, come back, and the punch still hasn't landed. That's the power, and that's the problem. The only reason a fight is exciting is because the hero might lose. You watch it, and somewhere in the back of your head, you're not totally sure he makes it out. The super ultra speedy fast guy takes that away. He wins before the fight has really started. Nothing can touch him. So what do writers do to usually solve that? Well, watch the speedster on screen and you'll start to notice something's off. There's plot holes everywhere. The Flash should win every fight in a single frame, and somehow it goes 12 freaking rounds. Quicksilver gets the glorious slow motion sprint, where he saves a whole mansion full of people one by one, looks absolutely incredible, and then the movie basically forgets he could do that for the rest of the runtime. Where did the speed go? Probably eating that sandwich I was talking about earlier. It happens so much you could find endless YouTube videos talking about the same thing. Oh, oops. The fast guy gets to be fast for the cool shot, then turn back down to normal so the story can keep breathing. Nobody fixes it, they just agree not to look at it. But then came Megamind. The very first thing the film does is build the most overpowered hero it possibly can, then show him off for a solid 10 minutes. His name is Metro Man. He's basically Superman with the dial cranked all the way up. He flies, he's strong enough to throw a car like a tennis ball. He's got the laser eyes, a jawline clavicular would be jealous of, and nothing in the city can put a scratch on him. The people love him so much they built him a museum and named the day after him. He's the most adored man in Metro City and he knows it. But he's been doing this for years, same villain every single time, a blue guy called Megamind who kidnaps the local reporter Roxanne, sets a big dramatic trap and waits. Metro Man flies in, breaks out of the trap in a couple of seconds, beats him and drops him back in prison. Everyone cheers, then they do the whole thing again next week. Just a little entertainment. Megamind plays the villain, loses, goes to jail. Metro Man plays the hero, wins, gets a parade. It's less a war between them and more a job they both clock in for. Now look at the film on a super duper surface level. What did they give you? They gave you a hero who has never lost and cannot lose, a villain who has never won and technically cannot win. Maybe I'll go off on a rant how we could later. But before I do that, everything we just said a minute ago, this should be the most boring premise on Earth. There's no real fight because we already knew how it ends. Writers knew it as well, so did directors. They built them this way on purpose. Waved them right in your face, let you get nice and comfortable with the routine. And then it does one thing no other superhero movie has the guts to do. It kills him. 10 minutes in, Megamind springs the usual trap. Metro Man flies into the observatory, suddenly goes weak and gassed that the dome is lined with copper. And copper drains his powers. The metal they make 2-pence coins out of. Yeah, that metal. Yes, that is a nice little jab at writers just creating weaknesses out of their ass for Superman-like power heroes. Whatever. Mega Man hits him with a giant sun-powered death ray because death rays are cool. When the smoke clears, there's nothing left but a perfect skeleton and a cape. Don't ask me how it makes sense that the skeleton survives, it just does. The hero is dead and the villain finally won. This is the inverse equivalent of making the first Iron Man movie and killing Tony up before he even builds the suit. Or like the 2002 Spider-Man where they have him get bit by a spider, but instead of getting powers, he just dies. If the credits rolled right there, you'd say the film made a terrible mistake. It threw away its quote-unquote hero in the first act for nothing. Though that is definitely not what is happening here. It's the full plan in motion. The whole city buys the death. Mega Man buys it. You buy it. I buy it. Kinda. The movie spends its entire middle stretch on the assumption that the strongest man alive, Mark Henry again, is gone for good, having a funeral and everything. Except he isn't gone. About halfway through, Roxanne and Megamind go digging and find Metro Man alive and well, hiding out, enjoying a sandwich, growing his hair out, the happiest he's ever been in his life. He faked the whole thing. Ha, just like your mom. And this is the thing I told you to hold on to at the start. The most powerful hero in the city spends the back half of the movie doing exactly what you wouldn't expect. Not training, not brooding on a rooftop. Hi, Batman. He's writing songs. Yeah, he just quit. And the reason why is the smartest bit of writing Superspeed since Dash in 2004. Metro Man explains that he never actually chose any of this. He had the power since he was a baby. The city decided he was their hero before he could talk, and he's been playing the part ever since. Win the fight, save the girl, wave at the parade, repeat forever. And because he can't lose, none of it ever meant a thing to him. So he looked at a whole life of guaranteed wins stretching out in front of him and decided he'd rather play music in a goon cave. Being unbeatable made him miserable, because being unbeatable is boring. He says the exact problem we spent the whole video describing out loud. But the part that actually solves the Superspeed problem is how he got out. Remember the copper? That big weakness that brought him down? Total nonsense. He made it up on the spot. Even Megamind couldn't believe it.
Your weakness is copper? You're kidding, right?
Metro Man was never weakened by anything. When that death ray fired, he just used the super speed to zip out of the building before the beam even got to him. Snagged a skeleton from a nearby nursing school, threw his cape over it, and threw it in there. As far as anyone knew, he was dead and gone, and he was finally free, and somebody's missing a skeleton of Grandpa at that nearby nursing school. Every other movie takes the fast guy and quietly slows him down so the story can survive having him in it. Or maybe that dramatic Quicksilver scene where he shouldn't have died. But the most interesting part of the solution of actually killing the speedster for all the audience sees is how it still manages to keep the story going. To see why it works, you have to watch what happens to the one man left standing in a city that suddenly has no hero in it.
That man is, Megamind. Surprise!
For a while, he's living the dream. The city is his. No hero to stop him. Nothing in his way. Every evil plan he's ever scribbled on a napkin at a Denny's is suddenly doable. But when the novelty wears off and he's just a sad blue guy alone in a giant goon cave Larry-do and nobody to call and a massive forehead, smashing up a city turns out to be no fun when nothing smashes back. Said the girl with the whole point of being the villain was the guy in the cape would show up to ruin it. Take that guy away and winning is just Tuesday. Because Wednesday, it's the worst thing that ever happened to Megamind, which is kind of ironic, as it's the exact same trap Metro Man was in, just seen from the other side. Metro Man couldn't lose, so nothing he did ever meant anything. Mega Man finally got to win, and now nothing he does means anything either. The hero and the villain both got wrecked by the same thing, winning with nobody left to win against. So Megamind does the one thing that might fix it. He decides to build himself a brand new hero. He's still got a sample of Metro Man's DNA off the cape. He cooks it into a serum that'll handle an ordinary person to full power set, and he goes off hunting for a worthy candidate to fire it into. Someone brave and noble. The kind of person who would grow into a proper nemesis worth losing to. Yeah, he hits Hal's then. Hal's the cameraman, a grown man whose whole personality is an unreturned crush of Roxanne, and I understand why, in an apartment with nothing in the fridge. Maybe too much in the fridge if you look at that vibe. Through a mix-up, this is the bloke who ends up being blasted with the powers of a god. Mega Man, ever the optimist, tries to make it work. Trains him up, builds him a costume, even disguises himself as a glowing space daddy. Space Daddy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Space Daddy. I'm gonna go penetrate the ozone layer. Yeah.
To coach Home Chacho into heroism, gives him a hero named Titan, which Hal can't even spell and writes down as Titan. And who doesn't like something organic that can tighten? Okay, I'm done. Maybe. Then it goes exactly where'd you think when you hand unlimited power to a lonely entitled guy who's never once accepted a rejection. Hal doesn't want to save anybody with his newfound powers. He just wants Roxanne. And the suits just became the best pickup line he has, which he turns him down anyway, because, well, getting insanely muscular usually only means that you get compliments from guys, not girls. You need money! Loads of it! You're not gonna win with your personality or watch. Nope. You need a Rolex, a Supreme t-shirt you bought online for $40, a Gucci belt, and no pants. Of course, Hal has none of that, and instead is using his powers to get that money. He decides that the city won't love him. Fear. Do the job. He turns, starts tearing the place apart for kicks and throwing tantrums you can see from orbit. So now the city's got its monster back. This time one Megamind built himself, and it came out worse than he ever was. The plan has completely backfired, where we yet again get in touch with the Superspeed problem. At this point in time, the movie's built 3 people, all of them having a different argument about, well, Superspeed, overpowered heroes, whatever you want to call it. Metro Man had all the power and no reason to use it. He was so far past winning that he switched off and went to play guitar. Titan has all the power and no reason to hold back. He's so high on winning that it turns him into a monster. And Megamind, the one bouncing between the two of them, has all the want in the world and none of the power. He's the only one who actually has to try, even though he could have also just injected himself with some of that super sweet super heroin to be muscular and powerful as well. Doesn't matter though. What we have is 2 men handed the same gift, breaking in opposite directions, and one little blue guy with nothing but his forehead brain that shows like it came from a particular country known for their pirates, stuck in the middle of them. That leaves only one question. How does a guy with no powers take down an actual super speed overpowered god? Every other film would just bolt on a bigger god. I mean, I would too. Threat too strong? Add a stronger one. Or go the other route. Invent some sort of weakness that is suddenly brought into existence. Megamind didn't do either of that, though. He uses the only thing he's got. Of course, his big, blue, beautiful brain. I meant brain. He bluffs by dressing up as Metro Man at first and tries to scare Titan out of town, which nearly works right up until he fumbles and gets rumbled. Titan chucks him into the sky to splatter him on the pavement. For a second, you actually think he might die. There's no invincibility to catch him. He's a normal little blue man at terminal velocity. He survives on a trick, lands in a fountain, grabs the gun that strips powers, and points it at Titan right before Titan torches Roxanne. One zap, and the god is just sad Hal again. Brain beats brawn. It's good. But they never could have done it without Megamind. The only person any of it means anything, though, is the guy who doesn't have super speed or godlike powers because he's the only one who can lose. But there is one more animated show that solved both super speed and the supersuit problem by reversing it all. Don't know what I mean? Click here to find out.